Cheers. Hi there. Today I'm bringing you the next video in what I am calling my Festive Special series. So it's going to be another festive look. Little frosty blue eye and a warm lip. I'm trying to do not just green eyeshadow and red lipstick because I wear green eyeshadow and red lipstick all year long, and there are a bunch of other videos on my channel that have that already going for them. So instead, today I'm going to recreate a look from Katie Jane Hughes' Instagram, which is part of her KJH Academy series. Firstly, I'm going to apply a liquid eyeshadow as a shimmery base for my eyes. So Katie Jane Hughes used one of the Stila liquid eyeshadows in her look, which I do not have. So this is a navy gray liquid shadow from the Shop Miss A website. Around the time that Glossier put out their Lid Star product, I came across these products as a dupe for them. They are $1 a piece, so I ended up buying every color for the grand total of $11. It's the first and only items that I purchased from Shop Miss A. I'm generally quite weary of websites that are able to sell something for so cheap. It definitely led to some buyer's remorse. Not because the product wasn't good, but it made me a little uneasy and suspicious. But, you know, in the funny way that the universe tends to balance things out, I'll then use a super luxe product to go on top of that cream eyeshadow. I'm going to use this little Burberry eyeshadow, which I got from Winners, so save some scratch there for sure. And it's this very sheer, almost like mod powder blue color. It's really lovely. And this shadow will help to lighten up the base shadow and make the looks start to appear more frosty and frozen and icy. So I'm taking a big fluffy brush and putting that all over the liquid eyeshadow. This will also set that liquid eyeshadow so it's not going anywhere. I really like eyeshadow colors like this. This frosty blue reminds me of my mom growing up. My mom is a natural beauty and did not wear makeup every day, but mostly saved it for special occasions, like a wedding or something. And her special occasion makeup was, I think it was maybe even a Covergirl single eyeshadow in this frosty gray blue color she put all over her lids. It would match her blue eyes. And I always wanted to wear it. I've been switching back and forth between this large, I believe it's called the Deluxe Crease brush from Real Techniques, and then a smaller, completely clean Bold Metals brush to just clean and buff around the edges so that it's not too harsh. This eyeshadow is going to go up quite high towards the brow, but I don't want it to look heavy. Salty sweet. Oh yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to take a bit of concealer on a really small brush just to go around my eyebrows and my general eye area where I do have some redness. I don't want that to interfere with the eyeshadow because, as I said, it's going to go all the way up to the brow, and the blue color mixed with the kind of redness in my skin there, it won't look as crisp and clean and frosty as I'd like. I'm going to go back to that liquid eyeshadow from the beginning and use a small brush to start building a guide for my eyeliner. This is going to be a winged eyeliner. Now I know it's not really dark enough to define the eye, but I'm going to use it to gradually build that wing. I'll put a darker eyeshadow on top of it, but just to make sure that it's going the way I want it in the correct shape. I have something to follow along because the darker shadow won't be so forgiving. While I think of it, here is the look from Katie's Instagram. Might as well show you that there. And I want the center of my lid to glisten the way hers does. So I'm going to take my trusty Stupid Love palette and press on some of the shadow called Rain on Me. Yes, I will continue to use this palette in my looks. Yes, that's happening. I just can't stop. Next, a product I was so excited about when it was released. I watched all the YouTube reviews on it. But ultimately, I'm quite glad I waited to purchase it till it ended up in the Sephora sale section recently. And that's this Melt Cosmetics Blueprint Stack. I've always wanted to try one of these Melt eyeshadow stacks. Such an ingenious design. So these eyeshadows are so up my alley. It's like a whole stack of just browns and blues. And so I thought it'd be perfect for this look. I'm gonna take the lightest blue shade, which is called Skylight, and add it to the center of my lid for a little more lift and shimmer. This color is so soft and buttery, but almost to a fault, where it's hard to apply to the eye without chunks of it falling off. It was hard to get it on the lid. It was a little bit disappointing. You'll see there I'm really struggling and looking confused. But next I'll take a product that I know I love. And this is the Astral White Pigment from McGrath Labs. This is a super dreamy, shimmery white with a blue reflect in it. So that's going to go on my brow bone as well as my inner corner. Now this product came in the limited edition Dark Matter set from McGrath Labs. This was one of the products that she released limited, and we weren't even sure that she was actually going to make it a permanent brand at all. So it was very exciting. I jumped at the chance to order it and then was like, oh, this stuff is permanent now? Well, great. Keep taking my money, please. So once that's on, I'm going to go back to the Melt Shadow Stack, and I'm going to take the dark navy blue there. That's what I'm going to use to darken and build up the wing liner. I found it was difficult to apply the shadow straight on like that, so I'm actually going to take my contact lens solution and use that to create a liquid liner with the shadow. This works so great. Look at that. It makes the shadow very dark and inky, almost black. So yes, that's what I was looking for. You can, of course, use water or setting spray as well to create a liquid liner from eyeshadow, but because I just put my contacts in, I had them close at hand. When I used the liquid eyeshadow earlier to make my liner guide, I tried my best to implement Katie Jane Hughes' method for wing liner on a hooded eye. So looking straight into my mirror and focusing the color first in the crease and the folds of my eye, and then kind of refining that shape and connecting to the rest of the lid. I've tried her method many times, and in fact I can recall Sam Chapman demonstrating something similar on her channel years ago, referring to it as batwing liner. So Katie's method doesn't work perfectly for me. I find that I always have better results with my liner further out towards the outer corner or the fold of my eye, but I still have learned a lot from watching her do her own. But that's the point. Everyone's eyes are shaped differently, and you kind of need to take what you need from all the different methods out there and make them your own. So I'm just taking my time, looking at my guide, and perfecting the wing in the shape that I'd like it to be. Another liner tip, especially for wing liner, that I learned from Nicola Chapman is to work backwards towards the inside of your eye, instead of always trying to move outwards, even though that's, you know, that's human instinct. That's the direction that the line is going. But especially when you're coming back and filling in the wing that you've just created and creating that kind of triangle shape, working back towards the center of your eye is very helpful. Okay, brows. You saw this in my last video. I'm sure you'll see it in my next video. It's my go-to right now. I'm using a tiny bit of this super intense hair gel to brush my brows up before filling them in with some hair-like strokes. This is a tip I learned from Milana Davidson. No D. 1D. Okay. So this is really just trying to imitate the big bushy brows that I wish I had. You know, I'm doing the best with what I've got. That's all we can do. So I find that sometimes the hair strokes I've drawn on with the pencil are too thick or intense at the root. And so I'll take one of these skinny Japanese Q-tips that I get from Muji and just go around them and soften them. Okay, skin. I'm putting on some of this glowy radiant cream from the Estee Edit. It's called their Radiance Activator. And I'm going to use this as a base for my foundation. Adds a little more moisture and a nice glow. I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Infallible foundation. This is their 24-hour long-lasting foundation, which replaces this old 18-hour Infallible foundation. And that formula was my favorite. This new one, this is nice too. But, you know, they've changed the name, they've changed the shades, and I find that this formula is a bit more stiff and matte than the old one, which I suppose makes sense if you're going from an 18-hour wear to a 24-hour wear. Oh well. So I'll dot that all around my face and then blend it out with my beauty blender. Apparently I had to take an important break from my foundation to let you know what I'm listening to. I was grooving so hard to Minnie Riperton. For blush, I knew I wanted to do a peachy pink color. So I pulled out this old Maybelline, I call it Dream Bouncy Blush. It has that really weird texture. But it was too weird for me. So I'm going to go with this Joe Fresh cream blush that I know I love. I love it so much that the labels have all rubbed off, so I'm very sorry. I don't know what it's called. I don't think they make it anymore. But it's a really lovely color and finish. You can see there it's very shiny. It almost, in fact, looks like a lipstick when you apply it. So I'm putting that on my hand, on the back of my hand, and then applying with a sponge, and it gives a really natural flush. Okay, concealers. Hear me now. I've been enjoying this Covergirl Trublend concealer a lot. Their lightest shade is a good match for me in terms of the undertone, but can appear a little bit too light. And it was on sale, so I thought I would go and pick one shade darker. And Covergirl describes this one shade darker as a neutral undertone, but no, that stuff is pink. Look at that. Look at that. But oh well, I'm still gonna use it today. I'll show you how it looks. I'll put it under my eyes as a bit more pink will help to counteract the blue darkness that I have under my eyes. Plus, when I tried this darker shade called 150 all around my face, so for example on my chin, I thought, oh, this concealer looks great, blends out well. But when I caught a glimpse of it in some kind of stronger daylight, it still looked dark on my jawline. And it had that kind of masky effect that you could have if your foundation or concealer doesn't match your skin. I applied some of the lighter 100 shade along my jawline as well, just to compare. And in that good light, it was the best match. So I know a lot of people swear by having a darker foundation or concealer on the perimeter of your face and then lighter in the center. And the theory does make sense, but I believe it was even Sandra Deluxe that mentioned it in one of her videos, that yes, you can have darker shades of bronzer and powder in the contours of your face, but towards your jawline should still be lighter, or rather should match your face well so that it matches your neck and doesn't give that illusion of what on me looks like an orange mask. We all need to do what works for us, you know, without prescribing too much to these are the rules of makeup, this is how you should do it. And, you know, shades and undertones of foundation and concealer are an ongoing struggle for me and pretty much will always be. Nobody's perfect, you know? Look at that. Went on that little rant and I'm almost done my highlighter. And I thought I'd grab this Milk Makeup highlighter stick in the shade Supernova because it has a blue and purple reflect. And I don't use it that often, but it looks cool. And I like the formula of their cream blush and highlighter. To finish off my eyes, I'll just lightly run that Burberry blue eyeshadow all along my lower lash line. That's it, pretty simple, just connect the inner and the outer corner. And I'm using my Real Techniques shader brush here. So I'll curl my lashes to get ready for mascara, and this is where it all started to go wrong. Not with the mascara. There's nothing wrong with this mascara. It's great. It's Voluminous Lash Paradise from Loreal. Mascara is great. It lasts. It makes your lashes look bigger. But the sheer act of applying my mascara resulted in that navy eyeshadow that I used along the lash line dropping down onto my skin and ruining my concealer. Now, I haven't set this concealer, but it's a self-setting concealer. And I'm sure you can't really see it, but it was very upsetting to me. It just started smearing everywhere once I tried to dust it off and remove it. It's one of those eyeshadows that once it drops down, it just goes everywhere. So I was pissed. I went off camera and fixed it. I reapplied some concealer after removing the blue. It's just so disappointing. I had high hopes for that Melt Cosmetics stack, and that navy shadow in particular. I remember seeing Juno Birch cut her crease with this amazing deep navy shadow from the Jeffree Star Blue Blood palette, but I was not interested in owning that palette. So, the Melt stack plus my Stupid Love palette, I think I've got all my blue bases covered. Lips! Okay, so Katie Jane Hughes does a pinky nude lip, so I did explore those options, but in the end I wanted to show you something warmer, shinier, more festive, more red. So this is an opportunity for me to show you two of my favorite current go-to lipsticks. So one is the Revlon Super Lustrous Shine lipstick in the shade Glazing Coral. That's what I'm applying first. It's beautiful. It's so hydrating. I've been reaching for this even as a chapstick. It's that moisturizing and gives you a bright, sheer coral color enough to make you look alive. This was another recommendation from Alana Davison, these Revlon new shiny lipsticks. They seem to be replacing the formula of their butter, I think they were called butter lipsticks. They're my favorite. I have a stockpile of them. Remind me about them. I'll tell you everything. But anyways, so it's their new, more shiny lipsticks that are sheer. The second lipstick I'm going to add is kind of like the more high-end version of that same product from Revlon, but this one is made by Clinique. I got this in a Buns trade. And I'm just reminding myself there that that's going to be a good lipstick for a later season Scully, so I'll need to revisit that. Be sure to remind me in the comments. But yeah, so this Clinique one is similar to the Revlon, except that it also has a gold metallic shimmer throughout it. And combining the two of them, I think it looks really pretty. It's not as bright on camera as it is in person, but trust me, it's there. It's very festive. I love blue eyeshadow and red lips. It's so 90s. It's so blue velvet. Makes me feel cheap in the best way. So there you go. That's my finished look, recreating the KGH Academy shimmery blue eyeshadow with a wing liner. I hope you enjoy, and that you're enjoying this festive special and having a very happy holidays. Thanks so much for watching.